So, seeing as though you've clicked on this video today, I'm going to make one bold assumption about you and about your situation right now. And that assumption is you are currently stressed out, or you're feeling anxious, you're worried about something, you're just overwhelmed. Maybe there's a lot on your plate right now. Maybe there's a lot on your plate just in general. Maybe you're worried about the future, what you're going to do with your life. Maybe it's just something that you got to do today. Maybe there's a big project that's due. Maybe there's a difficult conversation you might have to have with somebody you love, or maybe somebody you don't love that much. I'm just going to assume that right now you're stressed out. And firstly, I just want to say that I'm sorry that you're feeling that way. And I think that stress it's a pandemic, forget about COVID and stuff. I think that being stressed out is a major problem just in general society. I think that we are overworked, number one, as people, just in your regular workforce. And I just think mental health is at an all-time low, and it's just a really worrying statistic. And so I hope that you do not fall into that statistic. Maybe I could try to help and give you a little bit of advice that's really worked for me in my own case whenever I'm stressed out or I feel like the world is too heavy. I'm going to give you a bit of a hypothetical situation, and I want you to tell me which one sounds more overwhelming, which one sounds daunting as hell, and which one kind of sounds manageable. Maybe I could do it if I put my mind to it, right? So in situation one, right, I expect you to run 10,000 kilometers. I expect you to complete 450 workouts. I then expect you to put in at least 400 hours, maybe even 1,000 hours. I think that's the standard. I want you to put in 1,000 hours of work towards your goal, your business, your dreams, whatever it might be. 1,000 pure hours of work. And to top it off, I want you to eat at least 3,000 healthy meals within the next year, let's say. Year, maybe 2 years. Hypothetical situation B or number two. Today, I want you to go for a walk for 15 minutes. I want you to challenge yourself to eat one healthy meal, maybe two if you're feeling up for it. I'd like you to put in a solid maybe half an hour to an hour of real focused work, real dedicated time into your business, into your finances, your career, whatever it might be. And I want you to try to get to bed tonight. I want you to aim to get to bed maybe half an hour to an hour earlier, right? And the beauty is, I don't even want you to think about all of this right now. I just want you to think about, what is it that I need to do right this second? What can I do, or what should I be doing right now? Sounds like an obvious equation here, but which situation is more doable? Which situation doesn't give you mad anxiety? Situation two, obviously it is. I mean, it's very doable to think about, okay, maybe I'll just go for a little walk. Maybe I'll even just put my shoes on. I can do that. That's not rocket science. If you had to, in a video game, you essentially get the stats of all the things you've accomplished, the missions done, the hours done, this and stuff. If you had to look at your life and see the accomplishments that you've already achieved, you'd be astounded with yourself. You'd say, holy shit, bro, I've done 200 workouts. That's crazy, Or wow, bro, I've actually put in a solid, 500 hours of work in my lifetime. It's probably more, but you get the point, You'd be impressed with these stats. But when you hear these stats outright to you right now, as though here's what you need to do, this is the big task, you freak out. You start panicking because it sounds like a mountain. And because it is a mountain, if it's so difficult to get these things done, how do you explain having already accomplished some of these things in your life? Like I said, having a couple hundred hours of work under your belt, maybe even a couple thousand. How did you do that work? And the simple answer is, you did that work one step at a time. It was the day to day, maybe even the hour to hour, the minute to minute, the second to second actions and decisions that you made that led to that tremendous amount of achievement and amount of work completed. And the problem that so many of us experience nowadays, it's in our own minds. Our minds, and I've said this before on so many videos, our minds are assholes, guys. They are assholes. Your mind will say to you, oh shit, I need to complete so much work. I have so much expectation. And this gets worse the further timeline that you actually apply this to. Let's say in a year's time, you want to be in a certain position in your company. You want to be achieving so much. You want to have a certain standard. We all live this absolutely bullshit standard of oh, by 25 I need to have a job and a house and a dog. By 30 I need to be married. And when you envision these huge kind of achievements that need to be done, you panic. You freak out. You say, how the hell am I going to manage this? But the simple truth of the matter is you can't. You literally cannot manage work for 5 years' time, for 10 years' time. It's impossible. Take your whole life as a whole. You actually do not have access to your entire life, if that makes sense, because you don't have access to tomorrow. Why? Because it's not tomorrow. It's today, my friend. It's right now. You don't have access to a year from now. You'll only have access to a year from now in a year from now. It's not rocket science, right? It's obvious, but we don't think about it like this. We see these grand things that need to be achieved and we panic because it's an unrealistic and impossible amount of work to do. So what's the solution to this? Take it one step at a time. Your only job today, maybe even this hour, maybe even this minute, is take your to-do list, see the things that you want to achieve, say, I need to get this and this and this done. All you need to do then is break it down, make it manageable, decide what the most important thing for you to do is, and all you got to do is decide, right now, this is the step I'm taking. And all you got to do is just take that step, and then take the next step, and then take the next step, and say, forget the future, bro. I know it's hard because we're all human. We all have these incessant thoughts and we have this compulsive thinking about the future and we worry about the past. It's our condition and it sucks. But if you can somehow figure out how to just worry about right now, what is it that I need to do right now? And you live your life step by step, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, you'll achieve all those big goals. That's the beauty. All of those things will happen inevitably. You'll get to the end and say, oh, wow, I actually did that. I managed the 400 workouts, or I managed the 400 work hours. But you'll never get to the 400 workouts if you don't decide to go to the gym right now and worry about this minute, this workout. Take the pressure off your shoulders. Take it down a notch, breathe, and realize that the only control that you have in your entire life comes down to this very beautiful moment right now. That's all the control you'll ever have. It lets your mind realize that, wow, I don't have to worry about the entire world. I don't have to worry about how I'm going to achieve this in a week's time, in a month's time. You don't have to worry about that because you can't worry about that. It's impossible. Think about it. You can sit here and argue with me all day, but you cannot achieve something in a month's time right now. But you can achieve right now, right now. Does that make sense? One baby step at a time. Just take it one day at a time. So I'm telling you today, I know that life can be stressful. I know that things can be overwhelming at times. But I want you to realize that you are more than capable enough of getting through any difficult situation. You are more resilient, more strong, more worthy than you realize. You can get through any tough time. This too shall pass. And I think deep down you know that. I think deep down you don't need some guy on YouTube right now. You don't need some random dude to tell you right now that you can get through this. You know you can. You've gotten through everything that you've accomplished or had trouble with before. Every difficult situation that you've ever dealt with, you've gotten through that. And you've survived. You're here right now. You're listening to me talk rubbish. You've survived and you've done it. That tells me that you can get through any other hard situation that life throws at you, no matter how difficult or large or scary that challenge may seem. I just want you to realize that you are more than capable of getting through this right now. Whether that's a short-term stressor like work, like a project, like a conversation, or whether that's a long-term worry. What am I going to do with the rest of my life? How am I going to be successful by next year? How am I going to make this amount of money? How am I going to get the promotion? How am I going to find the love of my life? That's a big one, especially people our age. How am I going to meet somebody I love? Take it easy, bro. Take it easy. One day at a time, one step at a time, and you will be just fine. So right now, I want you to take that to-do list, take whatever task is on your mind. Firstly, decide, okay, how can I break this down into manageable chunks? Something that I believe is doable for me. Once you've got that down, prioritize that list of chunks. So say, okay, this is what I need to do right now. This is the most important thing. Tackle the most important thing so that it clears your conscience. Once you get the most difficult thing out of the way first, you feel like the rest is much more doable. You know what I mean? The present moment is all we ever have. It's an absolutely simple truth, but right now, take a deep breath. Right now is the only moment you will ever have, my friend. You can't live in a past that's been lived. You can't live in a future that hasn't come yet. You can only live right this minute. So, face the dragon. Decide that right now, this is the part of the dragon I want to fight. And then just fight him. Take the next actionable step, and I promise you that you will be just fine. I believe in you.